All right, welcome. This is DB talking now. DB talking birds. DB talking Philadelphia Eagles. Happy Saturday, everyone. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. So I have a few things that I want to get into. I want to talk about Frank Reich's recent endorsement of Nick Sirianni. I want to talk about Nick Sirianni as a head coach and how I feel about him just to this point. We're going to talk about free agency quite a little bit now that we're kind of embarking on the brink of free agency. We're going to kind of readdress that. We touched on it about a month ago, so we're going to go up and brush on that a little bit, and then we're going to talk a little bit about Shane Steichen and just a couple other things that I think are going to be pretty intriguing. And to start off with that, one of those intriguing things is this. There was a report that did come out recently on Bleacher Report that the Eagles did request to interview Eric Bieniemy, Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator, after all. So, you know, look, the report has been a tug of war game, back and forth, vice versa, what have you, ever since the head coaching candidates became open and since they became closed. So who knows what to believe at this point. Andy Reid even came out and said himself that nobody really requested to interview Eric Bieniemy, and now we get this report. So I don't even know what to believe, and so we're not really going to put too much into this report. It just seems like that's kind of the way that the media goes these days. Is one person says one thing, then the other person says another thing, and then another person says another thing, and then after the story should be concluded, another contradicting report comes out, and it's kind of frustrating. And it's just like, what's the point? What's the point? With that said, though, we're just gonna leave that at that, and there's no real point on addressing it. We've got our guy. We've got Nick Sirianni. And speaking of Nick Sirianni, he did speak with Philadelphia Eagles insider Dave Spadaro a couple days ago, and yeah, does he give a little bit too long of answers? Sure, he does, but he does it with passion, and it's his passion shining through, and that's why the long answers come out, and the definitive, over exuberant explanative answers come out, and I like it. I love it, and it's a breath of fresh air, honestly, compared to Doug Peterson, who, as I've said in previous streams, is just a freaking tree. He really was. He was the puppet for all puppeteers to own. Doug Peterson was, and Nick Sirianni. Look, if our theory is true, and they hired all these young coaches to be puppets for Howie Roseman, Jeffrey Lurie, at least he's doing it with passion, right? At least he's doing it with passion. So I love his passion for the game come out. I love his passion for being a head coach come out. Just his passion for and the love of the game. I absolutely love it. It's magnetic, and it really gets us as fans excited, or at least in my opinion, it gets me excited to have Nick Sirianni as our new head coach. And one of the things that he touched on that I want to address myself is, he touched on the work that offensive coordinator Shane Steichen has done. Obviously with the younger quarterbacks, like the Justin Herberts Justin Herbert last year with the Los Angeles Chargers, did a phenomenal job. Justin Herbert won Rookie of the Year. We all know that, and that is a really great accomplishment for an offensive coordinator to have that Rookie of the Year under your belt, and did a phenomenal job with Justin Herbert. And so he went on to talk about that. He went on to talk about Brian Johnson being one of those coaches that he didn't have experience with before, but was one of those coaches that had ton of experience, and was a really bright mind that they just wanted to get their hands on because they knew he was available. And honestly, we can all speak to this as well, as Brian Johnson does have that experience and does have the background, does have the the proof to the pudding. You know what I mean? He's worked with Dak Prescott. He did a phenomenal job with that Florida Gator offense last year, and that kind of is the proof to why I've been wanting to talk about some of these Florida Gator players like Kadarius Tonys of the world, possibly the Kyle Trasks. Quarterback Kyle Trask, Kyle Pitts, obviously, who could possibly be the pick at 6 for the Philadelphia Eagles. So having Brian Johnson as the quarterback's coach for Jalen Hurts is going to be a phenomenal thing, and he has the ties to Jalen Hurts as well. He's known him since he was very young, and so that's going to be exciting to relate a relationship to have in the locker room, as well as in the coaches meetings, as well as in the quarterbacks meetings, as well as for this offense just moving forward and the quarterbacks moving forward, and just their progression and just the way that they'll be able to learn the playbook and things of that nature, and including the offense moving forward. So that there's a couple things on Nick Sirianni, and he was able to give definitive, explanative answers on every single new coach that he's hired, and obviously he started with fundamentals. He's all about fundamentals, and while it did sound like a broken record sometimes, but he addressed that himself, but I think it was valid, because I think that he was looking for coaches who were doing a phenomenal job of coaching fundamentals to him, and so I think it was definitely valid. But he was able to give different explanative answers for each coach, and that is a coach that is showing signs of someone who cares, someone who is really, honestly, genuinely interested in the progression of each coach as they grow together, as they move along together, as they prepare together to build a successful unit and roster and team to hopefully bring success back into this organization, and it's going to be a tall glass of water to ask for, because right now, to fans, it is a cloudy situation, because we don't know what to expect. All that we know is we traded our franchise quarterback, and so it is a tough thing to grab a hold of. And we'll just have to see how this all plays out. Another bright spot, and I touched on bright spots, started with the bright spot reports the other day, and that is definitely is that Jalen Reagor and Travis Fulgham say that they have no worries of the offense moving forward, and that's always good to hear from a couple of your skill players, especially a couple guys that did show some flashes last season. So honestly, I believe that Travis Fulgham showed some better flashes than Jalen Reagor did. And he was mysteriously taken off the field. Jalen Reagor was not. So who knows what Travis Fulgham could have done had he stayed on the field. I think that he would have continued to get better, but and he just needed playing time. But hopefully that's out the window, and I hope that they give him some more time. And I think that they will. And I love that they're addressing this together, because Jalen Reagor, we know, is going to get more playing time. Travis Fulgham is still up in the air, I think. So I think that there's still a question mark in the eyes of fans regarding Travis Fulgham, but I believe that he is going to have a more significant role, because I think that they like him moving forward. And I think that is a smart move. I think Nick Sirianni and his coaching staff are making smart moves. So keeping Travis Fulgham is definitely one of those things, one of those smart moves to make. So I love that. However, there is some things to worry about. There is some things to worry about regarding the offense. I understand where they're coming from. I understand that look, we have the running back who should be producing more. He should be producing more. These guys have not gotten the playbook yet. These guys have not gotten the playbook yet. So they don't know what to expect. It's based off of feeling alone. And so once they get the playbook, they have to learn the playbook. The coaches have to teach the playbook to the players, things of that nature. So they haven't gotten the playbook yet, and they need to get that. But we do have the running back who should be producing more, and that's the issue. Miles Sanders should have been producing more. Granted, we had Doug Peterson who wasn't giving the ball to him that much, but we do know this about Nick Sirianni and his time with the Colts and what Frank Reich did. If it's anything like that, and we'll get to that in a second, he's going to find ways and packages for Miles Sanders that are going to be things that we are not used to seeing. So we'll just have to go from there. And Miles Sanders should definitely be more productive under Nick Sirianni than he was under Doug Peterson. So moving and along with Boston Scott too. So there is reason to be excited for the offense. There is definitely reason to be excited for the offense. But look, I want to talk about Kyle Pitts for a second here. And there's this huge debate. If we go with offensive playmaker at 6, there's a Devontae Smith, there's Jamar Chase, and there's Kyle Pitts. Those are the offensive playmakers that I think we could probably narrow it down to. And because everybody thinks Jalen Waddle is going to go that high, and I just don't see it happening. One, he just suffered an injury, and guys, that you're not taking that into account. Like, he's not going to go that high. You have to remember that. Like, injuries play a huge part in this, in the drafting process. Here's the thing. Kyle Pitts can do what Jamar Chase can do. He can do what Jamar Chase can do. Maybe not as explosive, but he can run the routes. He can catch the contested balls. He can probably run routes better than most wide receivers in this class. You can line him up all over the field. He might be the better chess piece out of the 3 of them. He might be the better chess piece out of the 3 of them. And that is why it should be a home run with Kyle Pitts. It should be a home run with Kyle Pitts. Like, I don't want to hear, like, it's funny because when we talk about Jamar Chase, it's usually Jamar Chase in comparison to Devontae Smith. When we talk about Devontae Smith, it's usually in comparison to Jamar Chase. But once Kyle Pitts is thrown into the equation, it seems like everybody loves Kyle Pitts, and it's no question. Well, then let's go with Kyle Pitts at 6. There's only one thing that could probably keep us from taking Kyle Pitts at 6, and that's the Bengals taking Kyle Pitts at 5 to solidify a 10-year target for Joe Burrow. That's it. But honestly, they might go Penei Sewell. If the Dolphins don't go Penei Sewell, they might go Penei Sewell. But the Falcons could go Penei Sewell. You know what I mean? So it really does depend on how the draft board falls. The Falcons aren't guaranteed to take the heir apparent for Matt Ryan. They're not guaranteed to take a quarterback. They could, but they're not guaranteed to do so. So there's that as well. And the Jet and the Dolphins aren't guaranteed to take an offensive playmaker. You know what I mean? So they could take a defensive playmaker. We never know. We never know here. Howie Roseman could be thinking defensive lineman because it's Howie Roseman. He could reach, but there is a possibility that I will be jumping on with Double G Bros Squad, Greg and Graham, later today, live 3:15, to talk more about this. I will be be sure to confirm that with you guys about an hour before that occurs. And we will be talking more about that, no problem. But look, it all depends on how the draft board falls. My opinion is this: if all three are on the board, Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith, Kyle Pitts, I think Kyle Pitts is the better route to go. Plain and simple. If it's Devontae Smith and Kyle Pitts, I think Kyle Pitts should be the pick. If it's Jamar Chase and Kyle Pitts, I think Kyle Pitts should be the pick. It's that simple. It's that simple. Now, if Penei Sewell is still on the board, they should probably take Penei Sewell. It's a tough call, because here's the thing here. Here's the thing. How much faith do they have? With Jordan Mailata at left tackle? How much faith do they have? That's the big question. How much faith do they have with the progression of Jordan Mailata and the work that our offensive line coach has done with Jordan Mailata? It seems like the ceiling is still high. He still has a ton of room to grow. He has not gotten a full camp yet. He took some huge strides last year and played phenomenal. He did when he came in. They should have kept him at left tackle when Jason Peters came back. They should have kept him there. I feel like he was only getting better and better and better and better, and took a step back a little bit, but was fine. But imagine that progression with a full camp. He's got room to grow. So it's, but at some point they're going to have to replace Lane Johnson. Maybe that's a couple years out. But I don't think we need a tackle. I don't think we need a tackle. There's going to be tackles to be had. I understand we want the guy. We want the name. We would love a Penei Sewell. But we need playmakers. And so I say this. Would it be bad to take Kyle Pitts at 6 and then like a Rashad Bateman at 37? And then that brings us to free agency, where there's going to be Malik Hooker. And I've touched on this a month ago. They should really make Malik Hooker a priority in free agency. They really should. He was drafted by the Colts, was touted as the top safety coming out of the draft a few years ago, and his former college coach compared him to Ed Reed, and he still does have that potential. Maybe not Ed Reed potential, but he still has top 5 safety potential. Did suffer an injury, so he will be coming off an injury, so he'll only be demanding a short term tiny deal, but he won't be that expensive. But the reward could be very high for a guy like Malik Hooker, and could shore up the secondary on the back end for sure. So, and because he has ties to Jonathan Gannon and Nick Sirianni, it could be a home run. So these are all things that we'll just have to think about and talk about, and the clock and we'll be on the clock, and the door will be open, and we'll just have to continue to have these conversations, because these are important conversations to have regarding our team. I personally think Rashad Bateman is going to be one of those second round guys if he falls, or Kadarius Toney out of Florida. Will be phenomenal, and there's going to be nobody that knows him better than Brian Johnson. So if there is some insight to be had on Kadarius Toney, it is going to be coming from Brian Johnson. So these are all. So if there is a pick worth taking, Kadarius Toney, I'm sure we'll take him. If he's worth taking. But both those guys, I think will be able to turn into solid contributors, really, really good contributors, from the looks of it, in my opinion. from the looks of it, in my opinion. So, getting to Frank Reich, he did just endorse Nick Sirianni quite a bit. He said Nick Sirianni was one of the brightest offensive minds in the NFL. That's a huge endorsement, guys, from a guy that we respect a whole lot, a hell of a whole lot in Frank Reich. So let's hold on to those bright spots that we can find, because right now we definitely need him. We definitely need him, especially in the cloudy dome that surrounds this franchise and cases this franchise, da 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 da. But I should be live with you guys later today. I will pre-schedule it, so you guys will get a notification, most likely around 3:15 with Greg and Graham, the Double G Bro Squad, talking about different draft scenarios, talking about different things along those lines, probably Howie Roseman, probably about free agency and things like that. And it will be very great. These guys are very close to me, very close to my heart, and they are on they have their finger on the pulse of this fan base and franchise and Howie Roseman and what we need just as well as we all do. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to it quite a bit. So anyway, this is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. You guys have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Saturday afternoon. Remember, you can donate at streamlabs.com/DB Talking Now/tip. All tips and donations are recycled and redistributed back into the stream, so that I can bring you guys better content and a better looking stream and things of that nature. And then also, if you guys want to go check out the merch store, I have a new item up there. It is the DB Talking Now vintage hat. I think it's pretty cool. There is going to be more stuff to come as well. And that is streamlabs.com/DB Talking Now/merch. So a bunch of cool stuff there as well. Long sleeve shirts, short sleeve shirts, tank tops. So if you like to work out, you can wear it while you're working out at home or while you're working out at the gym. But if you go to the gym, make sure that you wear a face cover. And we do have those as well, because we do have to protect ourselves from a crazy little thing called COVID. And it is very wicked and very mean. Very mean. And I don't know about you, but I don't like mean, wicked, vile things. And that is definitely one of them. So you can rep DB Talking Now while wearing your face cover and tank top while you're working out at the gym. So anyway, this is a beautiful, beautiful podcast that I had with you guys. Thank you so much. I will probably talk to you guys later. Peace out. One love. Go Birds, baby.